What you call aging is not always just age. But it is also not honest or safe to blame every foggy afternoon, stiff first step, or heavy mind on a single hidden enemy. Those symptoms can come from sleep loss, depression, thyroid disease, anemia, medication effects, chronic pain, high blood pressure, diabetes, or inflammation. The body is not a broken machine. It is a living system. And when something feels off, the first duty is not drama. It is diagnosis. You feel the signal before you see the numbers. The head feels packed with wool. The joints resist when you stand. The energy drops out in the middle of the day. That sensation is real. It deserves respect. But no ethical physician can look at that pattern and promise that one food will keep you young. Not a berry. Not a leaf. Not a powder. Not a bottle. Doctors who practice into old age do not survive on secrets. They survive on patterns. They protect blood pressure. They preserve muscle. They guard sleep. They keep glucose stable. They do not let the waistline drift without consequence. They keep the lining of the blood vessels, the endothelium, as smooth as fresh Teflon. They reduce chronic inflammation, the smoldering fire that roughens tissue and disrupts repair. And they do it with boring consistency long before they do it with slogans. So what food earns a place at the front of that line? Not because it is magical. Because it repeatedly shows up inside durable dietary patterns linked with better cardiometabolic health, better vascular function, and healthier aging. Dark leafy greens. Spinach. Arugula. Bok choy. Mustard greens. Amaranth leaves. Morena leaves. Ordinary plants. Quiet workers. Here is why. Your blood vessels depend on nitric oxide, a signaling molecule that acts like lubricant on hydraulic tubing. It helps the vessel wall relax. It supports flow. It protects the surface from becoming sticky. Leafy greens provide nitrate, which the body can convert through a stepwise pathway into nitric oxide. Not a miracle. A mechanism. When that pathway works, the pipes open better. The pressure load eases. The tissue downstream gets better delivery. That matters because the damage of chronic disease is not abstract. It is physical. Excess glucose can bind proteins through glycation, like syrup hardening on wiring. Oxidative stress throws off free radicals, cellular shrapnel that dents membranes and enzymes. Inflammation changes the vessel wall from slick to abrasive. The result is friction. Heat. Wear. Over time, the system pays. Read that again. Friction. Heat. Wear. But even here, accuracy matters. Greens do not erase disease. They do not replace medication when medication is needed. They do not reverse every cause of fatigue. What they can do is support a biological environment that is less hostile to your arteries and metabolism. That is the difference between education and fantasy. A practical protocol looks like this. Include dark leafy greens daily, ideally at 1 or 2 meals. Use whole food forms. Salads. Soups. Light steaming. Quick sautéing. Add beans, lentils, herbs, mushrooms, tomatoes, onions, or intact grains around them. If your kitchen is not Western, the principle does not change. Bok choy works. Mustard greens work. Water spinach works. Amaranth leaves work. Morena leaves work. The body does not care about branding. It responds to chemistry and pattern. And the pattern extends beyond one plate. Berries and other deeply colored fruits bring polyphenol, defensive compounds that help counter oxidative stress. Legumes improve satiety and glucose control, which lowers the metabolic sparks that feed the internal fire. Cruciferous vegetables such as broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, and similar regional vegetables add fiber and compounds associated with cellular defense and detoxification pathways. These are not luxury foods. They are maintenance materials. Which future feels more real to you now? Waiting for stiffness, fog, and heaviness to become your identity? Or treating them as signals that your system needs measurement, correction, and support? There is also a harder truth. You cannot out-eat certain injuries. Ultra-processed foods, excess refined sugars, smoking, heavy alcohol use, chronic sleep deprivation, and inactivity keep pouring dirty fuel into the engine. If your blood pressure is uncontrolled, if your blood sugar is climbing, if your sleep is shattered by apnea, the body keeps paying interest on that damage. Symptoms may be muffled while the process continues underneath. That is why good medicine looks both ways. Food quality matters. Clinical evaluation matters. If you have chest pain, sudden weakness, new confusion, black stools, severe shortness of breath, unexplained weight loss, or rapidly worsening fatigue, that is not a wellness puzzle. That is a medical assessment. Still, the hopeful part is real. Many people do feel clearer when they improve diet quality, sleep, activity, and metabolic health. They wake with less heaviness. They move with less rusty resistance. The afternoon crash loses some of its grip. Not because youth returns like a switch. Because processes can be interrupted. So keep the reframe that helps and discard the fiction that harms. Do not say, "This is just age," when your body is sending signals. But do not say, "One food will keep me young," when the evidence says health is built by patterns. Start with dark leafy greens if you want one simple move. Make them regular. Build around them. And if you want, I can turn this into a safer YouTube script in the exact same noir style, but grounded in evidence and without unsupported medical claims.